Hello, just wanted to have a short chat with you with this video in relation to chakras. Chakras are really important in terms of spiritual work, psychic work, intuitive work, mediumistic work, in terms of the control you have over your sensitivity and what you're connecting to. It was very important in terms of protection. When I used to sit in a weekly development circle and when I taught in the circle for many years, after our opening prayer and before the end of the closing prayer, we always had the opening of the chakras, and at the end, we always brought the chakras in. So you could say, well, the chakras are always open, and in truth, they are. But if you imagine like a flower and the petals of the flower, you know that there are flowers, petals close in at night time to protect them, protect themselves from the darkness, the cold. In a way, that's what you're doing to your chakras. You're not killing them off. You're not making sure they're absolutely closed and shut down. They're always open, but what you're doing is when you are working in a sensitive way and you're trying to feel or to see a higher frequency, a higher vibration, that particular chakra or chakras open more extensively. And it's important that we then draw those back in again to a place where they're all in alignment and all in balance. Otherwise, you'll find that that sensor of yours is open all the time and it starts becoming very confusing and also unsettling when you're connecting and feeling energies all around you don't want to feel. So, another thing I found was really important to share is when you are working in a mediumistic way. So, you may be practicing or developing or working in channeling. You may be practicing developing the connection to your spirit guides, or you may be practicing or connecting to for your healing energy to flow through you as a conduit to whoever you are giving healing to. The focus should always be on the top three chakras to open the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra, particularly in mediumship. Throat chakra for clairaudience, the third eye for clairseeing, and the crown chakra for the connection to the highest vibration of spirit. Now, what I found was really helpful with this was when I was a platform medium, I was finding one day I was sharing the platform with a more experienced medium than myself. And in my demonstration, I'd made a connection to a lady in the audience, and I was bringing through a very dominant character, which was her grandmother. Now, I loved in those demonstrations, which were focused on evidence, was if I could get a strong communicator, strong personality, I would get really good evidence. They were so easy to speak to and speak with. However, in this case, we're aware that in the public demonstration, you can't be there for half an hour with one person. Otherwise, everyone gets the crisp packets out and the sweets, and they get bored. So we used to try and keep it down, be very short and smart and on point, bringing through four clear evidential messages or evidence within that message. So the person you're giving the message to will say, yes, I know exactly who that is. And no one else in the audience would be saying, oh, it might be my mother, it might be my grandmother, it might be Auntie Joe. No, only one person says, I can take all of that, plus the message of guidance that was coming through. However, in this case, this particular lady was so happy in spirit that she was able to communicate and talk. She wouldn't shut up. I couldn't stop her. I said, right, that's it. I need to move on. I said, thank you to the lady in the audience, said thank you to the spirit lady who was talking to me. And then I went to the very other side of the room where I was drawn to a lady who was sat there, started to try to connect to her. She was saying hello to me. And as I was given the message, she was shaking her head to say no. But the lady I'd come from saying, that's still my grandmother. She hasn't gone. She's still there. So the lady medium who was more experienced than me said afterwards, look, there's a way of dealing with this. When you finish that first message and that spirit link is strong and is finding it hard to step away from you, What you do in your mind, you focus on drawing in the crown chakra, the third eye, and the throat chakra. Effectively, you are stepping away from that connection, from that strong spirit personality. And when you go to the next person, the recipient of a message, I was working from, or you work from the gut, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus. You're working with intuition and also my third eye because I was looking for what I could see around that next person. I wasn't looking for spirit links then. I put that to one side. I was focusing on the energy around them. So I started to see the aura, describe that. I could feel and see lots of boxes. I knew that she was doing some packing or getting ready to move. And once I'd established that and that connection, she was saying yes, yes, and yes. Then I opened up my throat chakra, my third eye more consciously, my crown chakra, and asked for a spirit to come in close that was loving and wanted to speak to that person who knew them well. And with that, immediately a spirit connection came in and gave evidence of their passing, of what happened after the passing, and what had been going on with that lady in that day, and also the message that was being given of encouragement and support. And I learned a lot from that about control, at taking control by working with the chakras. So I wanted to share that with you folks. I hope you found that interesting. I won't waffle on because you know that I can talk for England, Scotland, Wales, and the rest of the countries as well. But I will leave that with you, and I do hope you have a really good day. So bye for now. Take care.